Welcome back to the another episode of the Traders Cap. As usual, I'm gonna go through the weekly market breakdown for major pairs like euro dollar, pound dollar, and gold. Thank you for watching the last video. As expected, we had this euro dollar reacting off the supply, which was a very high probability supply because it led to the it swept liquidity and led to this convincing move to the downside. So when we come back up here, we at least a reaction was expected, and we got last couple of weeks a reaction, and the reaction that led to this mitigation into this demand. So this is the area where we can expect that continuation of the order flow from the weekly perspective, because if we look a little bit left for this price action. This price action also was coming off the supply. If you draw supply over there, and what did that supply lead to? That supply led to mitigation of this demand. So same game plan. I'm expecting a reaction from there and then into this nearest demand to continue its bullish order flow. Nothing else. So since we are currently sitting on the weekly demand, most probably daily is gonna switch bullish to run the week high, the daily order flow, and the 4 hour 1 hour also most likely is gonna switch bullish from this demand so that we can run the week high. So that is the primary expectation, right? And with that, we'll go over the daily time frame now. So what do we have on the daily time frame? As expected, we had this weekly supply, so that was weekly supply, just a reaction point for the pullbacks, right? Where the pullback will occur into. It will occur into this weekly demand, right? So this was the weekly demand, and this is the daily demand that was nested within weekly demand. So this is whole the area is responsible for to run the week high if we are going to resume that overall trend. Since we are heavily bullish since 2025, right? We have been pretty much bullish. I don't think we are gonna get a deeper pullback until and unless we don't see that strong strip of the highs, because this is very corrective highs with very slow move to the downside, so it often gets liquidated, and then maybe if we see sharp retrace like that breaking into this demand, then we may assume that we are gonna get a pullback. But until then, simple expectation, we got the breakup structure. We came off weekly supply, had corrective pullback into this week daily demand, which was nested within weekly demand as well. So coming into the week, if we form a well-developed bullish range from the 4 hour 1 hour, then it's most likely that's gonna sustain so to run the week high, because the objective of the pullback has been completed already, because we pull back into the extreme, we pull back into this weekly daily demand, and now it's time to see that impulsive phase to run the week high, because this has been the week high, because it hasn't achieved its goal. It hasn't achieved its that is to break the low, so it hasn't done its job. So since this was strong, it led to the breakup structure. We had a nice corrective pullback into the PY. We got this daily change of character, but it was not that convincing, so I'm not reading too much into this. But I'm just focusing on this recent price action. Currently we are sideways. We can see that we have swept the minor low, but if we start to see that strong order flow from the medium time frames, that is 4 hour 1 hour and M15, if you guys are day traders, then yeah, I think it can be interesting to run the week high if market give us that conditions. And now we go on to the 4 hour time frame. What do we have? As we know, this is the daily strong high, but since this was daily breakup structure, what did we have on the 4 hour structure? We got this 4 hour strong bearish. So we had this in bearish order flow. 4 hours just switched bearish so that it can facilitate the pullback of the daily bullish swing run and to mitigate the weekly demand. Because for example, if we are mitigating from here the weekly supply, and after we are reacting off this one, if we are gonna get a reaction, what is gonna happen to the lower time frames such as daily, 4 hour 1 hour? We're gonna see that bearish order flow kicked in. So yeah, keeping that in mind, we had this bearish ranges from the 4 hour time frame during the news. I think PPI and Trump spoke. This time we had this strong sweep of the highs, strong sweep of the lows as well yesterday on Thursday. So it's not that ideal. We are currently we're trading in this range, but overall picture from the weekly and the daily, it's to the to run the week high if 4-hour and daily suggests. That is, let's see, because this supply has broke this kind of low, but this supply, we got reactions over there, and now we have reaction failed, so there is not much supply to the left. So simple expectation is we're gonna run the highs at least. If not, we may get a pullback up, sweep this kind of low again, and then we may see that continuation to the upside. So simple expectation and most likely scenario is that since we swept the recent week low, that was the news candle, have been retracing heavily. So simply, yeah, we may see that continuation to run the week high and may sweep this news candle high as well, because the recent supply has failed. So if we had this like that, the bearish range from this supply, then we would have conviction that we may want to see this go, or we may pull back, mitigate much deeper into this kind of demand. But that's not the case, right? We got this strong sweep. This sweep has reacted from the supply, but still bulls were in control, and then we led to that supply failure, but we still contain within the supply, right? So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And yeah, that's from the 4-hour perspective. 4 hours switched bearish to facilitate the pullback. Since the pullback is completed, anytime we can see that 4 hours switched bullish, and then buys from here can be the high probability, and it's going to be very impulsive because we don't have any supplies left over there for a reaction point for the pullback. So that means since there is not much supplies left, then price can often be impulsive, like that. See, this was mitigated, everything was mitigated here, so that means we had lots of liquidity resting above. What happens after that? Whenever we got that trend change, see, we never pull back much. It just became the vacuum in price to run the week highs. So that simple expectation is like, yeah, we're just gonna run the highs over there if 1 hour and the 4 hours exists. So simple expectation, yeah, from the 4 hour to run the week high on the daily and the 1 hour. Let's say on the 1 hour, what do we have? On the 1 hour, it's a little bit messy. That's why I like to focus more on daily and the 4 hour, because 1 hour can get a little bit of a messy price action because of this large wick. Because ultimately we got that 1 hour shift bullish, because as expected from the weekly and the daily, we reacted off the supply, right? And then 1 hour switched bearish to facilitate the weekly and the daily pullback. And after we pull back into this weekly and daily demand, now our expectation is that it's gonna switch bullish. Why? Because the objective of the pullback has been completed, and now we are gonna run the week high. It's the same principle from the daily, even from the weekly, daily, and the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. And if you also trade M15, then yeah, sure, M15 as well. So this is the strong high, strong low, that low breakup structure. We swept the news candle, and after that we have been this bearish, bullish order flow. So my simple expectation is this is gonna be protected, because we have swept the low, and then after that, pretty much we have been reacting to this supply, but bulls are in control here as well. If you see on this supply, that led to this convincing move, what did we got? We got this reaction. Supply a little bit, they reacted, but demand took over, and then we swept this liquidity again, and then bulls strongly pushed up. So simple expectation is, yeah, it's just gonna continue pushing up. It may go from here, it may go from here. Well, that remains to be seen, but simple expectation is that we're gonna run the week high. So it's gonna be pro-trend run, it's gonna be impulsive phase, so we have to be a little bit ambitious and trade long with the expectation of, since we are playing with the daily idea and the weekly idea, and that corrective nature of the price action has been completed, so this is the time to be aggressive and be a little bit more risk-taking and be more a little bit ambitious, so that we can run the week highs, because it's gonna be very impulsive. Since we don't have any unmitigated supplies to the left, it's gonna be very, very impulsive, because we have tons of liquidities resting. See, it doesn't have anything, this one as well, it doesn't have anything. This was mitigated, and yes, this supply was mitigated. We may get a reaction from there, but it's not that significant. This was mitigated as well, and yeah, this was mitigated. So yeah, be prepared, be impulsive if market condition is good and if it suggests. So for me, that's how I was saying euro dollar. And yeah, let's go over pound dollar now. Right, pound dollar. What do we have? So we have swept this liquidity, which was the major buy side liquidities that led to this convincing breakup structure. We have this major supply over there. That may be the final catalyst for a deeper pullback, probably into EQ. Focusing on the recent price action, yes, we are content within this. We were content within this daily demand. Like I was saying on the last market breakdown as well, since we have this high probability demand that was formed through sweep, and which inducement just above, there is a high likelihood the price may wants to mitigate here before we see another push up. So yeah, so since this was high probability demand and this demand was not the best at all, and after the buy side liquidity sweep, at least a decent reaction can occur. Let's see, right? If we convincingly break to the downside, then yeah, we may get a deeper pullback. If not, then yeah, we are responsible. This demand is responsible to push the price higher to run the weak highs. That's the weekly. And if we go on the daily time frame, what do we have on the daily time frame? We have this same as before. We have this weekly demand, and we have this nested daily demand nested within that as well. But recently we swept this strong low that led to the breakup structure. What do we got? We got this strong sweep. That's the strong liquidation, but we haven't seen that follow through yet. We have been generating liquidities. If we see a little bit in more detail with the candlesticks, yeah, we have this sell side liquidity. Probably we may see the sweep, and then probably we can see like that. So yeah, the move has been very impulsive, right? And we have been leaving lots of unmitigated supply above. So this may be a little bit corrective kind of move if we are gonna get that weak high get taken out. But since this move is very impulsive, with corrective pullback, impulsive, corrective pullback, impulsive, and then corrective pullback, yeah, we may see that another impulsive move if we are gonna get that. So yeah, it can be interesting if we convincingly break. Then yeah, probably we may get that deeper pullback for the weekly, probably up to here, and we may see that move. But until then, yeah, simple expectation is, let's see if we can get a 4-hour, 1-hour order flow bullish, and then we can assume that we may run the weak highs. And if we pull back here into the supply, and if we start to see that strong shift like that on the 1-hour time frame and the M15, then yeah, we'll take the message from the market, and then we'll see what happens. So that's the daily. If we go on the 4-hour time frame now, for me, 4-hour was recent range was this one, because this was the swing strong that led to the convincing breakup structure. It's a little bit large, so I'm quite focusing on the recent price action. After focusing on the recent price action, we have been sweeping this kind of sell side liquidity sweep, and after that we have been trading within this range, the news candle range, because whenever we have been trading, we are trading within the inside of the range that was created by the by the news. Excuse me. Then yeah, it often tends to range because we're still trading within these high news candles. So market condition is gonna be very, very choppy until and unless we don't see the convincing move to the upside or to the downside. So I'm a little bit more cautious on that, and a little bit more conservative. That's why I prefer EU, because we have swept the strong that low from the news candle on the EU. But on GU, we are still contained within this kind of news candle. So the move has been very, very slow and sideways. But the recent demand has, well, it hasn't fell, but since we have been mitigated already, this one, there was no any reason for price to pull back here again. So I'm often seeing this as a sweep, and then probably that will be the final catalyst for bullish reactions. So yeah, that's the for our. Not much, pretty much in the sideways, right? Waiting to see whether we get a clear move to the upside. Primary expectation for me, at least the way I'm seeing in the market at the moment, is we are gonna run this kind of lows, and then we may see that continuation. Let's go on the 1-hour time frame. What do we have? Focusing on the recent price action on the 1 hour, we got this 1-hour breakup structure. So this is strong. However, we have this all mitigated and the move has been corrective, and this demand has failed already, so we got this another breakup structure. That means this low is weak, because after the pullback has been completed, our expectation would be to run the weak highs, but instead what happened, we got this breakup structure. So since this move was very corrective, I'm expecting another leg to the downside, and then probably we may see the continuation. So not the best price action, but from the daily and from the 4 hour as well, and from the 1 hour as well, what I'm seeing at the moment is like we have been generating lots of liquidities below, so we often see that liquidity go, and then probably we can see that strong reactions or the impulsive phase, that if we are gonna see that, right? So that pound dollar for me, yeah, since we don't have that strong low formation yet, because this is not how it forms, and I'm expecting this to go at least into this daily demand or the weekly demand, and then we may see that continuation. So yeah, all right, another pair, gold. I don't like the gold at the moment. It just doesn't look good. Let's go over the weekly as well first, and then see, weekly is very messy. So whenever we are in this kind of price action, the price action can be very messy on the daily and the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and it's really hard to get the bias. But it's just focusing on the recent price action. Since we're heavily bullish, we mitigated this weekly demand, and we have swept this minor low liquidity, and then we have pretty much reacting to the upside. So yeah, simple explanation is that we're gonna run the weak highs, but the price action can get a little bit choppy before we take that out. So yeah, we may take lots of losses if we aggressively trade in these price actions, so we gotta be careful, right? This is the daily. What do we got? We got this daily breakup structure, pull back into this weekly daily demand, and what we got, we swept this all liquidities, sell side liquidities into this demand, and what we got this strong bullish nature of price action. But what we got again, we got this breakup structure to the downside again. So that means the low is weak. That is why, since the objective was completed already, we should have taken the weak highs, we should have followed like that. But instead, once we switch bearish, now this is gonna get tricky. So whenever you see that lots of trend change, for example, so I'm just gonna give you a mini illustration. For example, we have this let's say daily or 4 hour breakup structure, and then we got to pull back, right? And now after we pull back here and then we switch bullish, what is our expectation? Our expectation is to run the weak highs, right? But instead of running the weak highs and then now we switch bearish, so now this can get a little bit tricky to trade, because from the swing perspective, our objective was to run the weak highs, but instead the internal has switched bearish. So now with this internal structure being shifted bearish, now this low becomes weak. So this is gonna get very tricky to trade. So this is when we have to be really conservative and expect that we may be in a range, because at this point we should be really careful. Why? Because this internal has shifted bearish, and then once we shot that bullish, our expectation was to run the weak high, so we tried to capture these highs. So whenever we see that bearish shift on the market, then what we can expect is that probably we are in range, because it has not followed through. The bulls that stepped in over there, they are not really interested here, and then they are losing steam. So now bears taking over. That means it's gonna be very hard to find out the directional bias, who is in control, because here at this point we knew that bulls were in control, but now after we reach point here, now we have the indication that bears are in control. So we don't know what's gonna be, either bulls gonna win or the bears gonna win. So this is the time to sit on our hands and only trade when there is a very high probability setup, and don't rush into the low probability ones. Or if you want to trade, just focus on the recent price action, and yeah, we can trade from there. So yeah, from at this point bears were in control. We got this daily changes of character, then we had this sitting in this daily demand, and after that we have been pretty much bullish out of flow, but the recent price action is not the best. So yeah, simple explanation is, yeah, probably we may see that another continuation, but from this swing perspective, we got this bearish breakup structure, we got the pullback. Yeah, we may see the run the weak highs, yeah, I don't know which way we're gonna go, but this is definitely tricky price action to read, right? So yeah, 4 hour is bullish, swing is bullish, swap the liquidities. After that, you can aggressively follow the buys. There will be too many trades if you want to, because even though daily and the weekly is not that clear, 4 hour and 1 hour alone can give you this story sometimes if you just focus on the recent price action. Because after we got the breakup structure here, you could continue following sales, and after we got the breakup structure, you can read between the line that yeah, we got a breakup structure. That means we may follow this bullish, and now after we got the shift, you can just follow this immediate price action, take sales, even from here, and even from here, and after you saw the strong shift coming from this 4 hour demand, then yeah, you may take the message from the market and be aggressive on buys over there. And yeah, same repeat, right? We got these changes of character coming from the supply, place sales, got the news candle which swept the week highs, and now we are just chopping around. So simple expectation for me is to run the week highs, but still the week high is not that very poorly formed, since it was formed after the sweep from the news candle and led to that convincing breakup structure. So of this kind of low, so we may see to the downside as well. It's very tricky to get the bias yet, since daily is not that obvious. But focusing on the recent price action, we swept this sell side liquidity sweep, had this strong liquidity sweep, and then we have been forming this bullish order flow. So yeah, let's assume it's gonna hold until and unless it does not. Currently we're sitting up in this demand. We're not sitting, but we are this demand is in control. So simple expectation is that price pulls back here and then give us a confirmation, and then bang, longs. So let's go on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, we're saying like we had this strong liquidity sweep from there, and then after that, what we got this strong push up, V-shaped reactions. That means there are strong bulls stepped in. So yeah, we got this corrective pullback, swept liquidities, and then we got a massive push up to the upside yesterday on Friday. I was waiting to see if we can mitigate here so that we can play the longs, but we didn't, so it's okay. And now what we got this internal breakup structure. Now we are pulling back correctively. So simple expectation is we pull back here to run the week highs. That's it. So yeah, gotta be really careful because the daily time frame is doesn't look good. So don't take unnecessary trades. Just be conservative and focus on the immediate price action and high quality setups. Don't aggressively trade, because we may take a lot of losses whenever we are in this kind of range and it's not showing clear. Unlike here, whenever we had that clean bullish order flow, you can continue looking for buys. But whenever we are in this kind of price action, it's really important to understand that market condition is slow. It's not showing its clear hands. Let's just sit and wait, right? So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm open to any feedback, suggestions, whatever you guys have, and we'll work onto it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good rest of the weekend and have a good week ahead. Bye bye.